Welcome to the Profit by Design podcast. Today we are doing something a little out of the ordinary. I have invited Kaitlyn, our How to Hire the Best Strategist, onto the podcast for a coffee chat. And if you've heard the podcast for very long, you know Kaitlyn's my daughter, and we have worked together pretty much all of her life. She just kind of seems to follow me everywhere I go.
I just keep coming back for more.
Yeah, you do, Kaitlyn. And you know that Fridays are our day to get together and have coffee chats. And today we just thought it would be fun to invite you with us into our coffee chat. And we're going to talk about how to keep your best team members for the long haul. And Kaitlyn and I have worked in many different industries together. We've experienced great places to work. We've also experienced very toxic workplaces. And we have found our home at Tap the Potential. And as we're just celebrating Dr. Sabrina's phenomenal record of 20 years in this coaching business, we want to share with you in full transparency what it's like to be a team member at Tap the Potential, to be an A-player team member, and the things that we value most so that you can get an idea of what your team members are truly wanting.
And I just want to add on to something here, Melissa. We are an employer of choice at Tap the Potential. So all of what we are talking about is completely possible for you. Mm-hmm. We've seen it happen. And so what we're really talking about today is what it looks like to work for an employer of choice.
Yeah. So I want to lay this out, and we are not paid to say this. We're not, we're on the podcast because we want to be.
Yeah.
So I want to hear what it's like for you. And for me, I'm so excited and jazzed up every Sunday night thinking about going to work on Monday. That didn't used to be the case. I remember having anxiety attacks on Sunday thinking about what I was going into the following week, and all those sleepless nights just being stressed about work and not feeling fulfilled and feeling like my voice wasn't heard or what I did didn't really matter. And oh my gosh, what we experience now is night and day, because when I get up on Monday morning and I map out my week and I look at all the meetings that I have ahead, I feel energized. So Mondays are no longer a dreaded day. Mondays are the day that I get to say, oh, I get to meet with my team on the huddle. These are the clients that I get to meet with this week. And it feels like the most fulfilling time of my entire life. And that is a priceless gift. So Kaitlyn, I'm curious, what's coming up for you as you're hearing me share that?
I would have to agree in all areas. So a little bit of context about what I do at Tap the Potential is I lead our sales and our marketing team, and I'm also the How to Hire the Best Strategist. I have the privilege of not just talking to people who may or may not know about Tap the Potential, but I also have the privilege of working with our clients who are just so incredible to stand behind and to coach around challenges that they're experiencing. And when I wasn't working for an employer of choice, I felt very stifled. I was at an earlier part in my career where I was still learning about what my gifts were and how I wanted to lend my strengths. For me, what it looks like for me is, yes, Melissa, I am energized and excited to go to work every single day. And I'm excited that I get to have the impact that it is I've always wanted to have, because I'm all about purpose here, and everything that we do is so driven towards our client's success and the success of others too who are on this journey with us. I love that I am now being a gift from my gifts. I have unearthed strengths within myself that I did not even know were possible. And I love that I get to show up knowing that I am contributing and adding value in a way that is unique to me. And it feels so invigorating. And I love, love, love when we get to celebrate our clients' successes and their wins. It's just so phenomenal because we get to hear in their own words some of the same things that we already know to be true because we use the Tap the Potential solution in our business, so we know. But it honestly, I could go on and on. It feels like when I came to the team, I felt so valued and supported, and that's never changed. It's also grown me as a professional because it stretched me in ways I really didn't know was even possible.
Yeah. One thing that's key here is we are serving from our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And through our roles, we are able to show up in a way that's true to us as individuals.
Yes.
And when your team members are able to do that, it's very impactful. And you mentioned be a gift from your gifts. So if you're watching us on social media, you can see what I'm holding up. It's a mirror that Dr. Sabrina sent us for Christmas last year. And it says, be a gift from your gifts. And I keep that on my desk all the time. And it's not just a reminder to be a gift for my gifts, but it's a reminder that Dr. Sabrina values me being a gift. So that says she values me as a person. Mm-hmm. And when you do that for your team members, it goes very far because they feel very fulfilled on the impact that they're making on their role and through the people that they serve within your business. You and I were just talking about this today. And, an example of this is I'm a business strategist. I'm a business coach. I'm also a life coach. And that life coaching part is very important to me. We are a holistic program. So we're here to help you create a better business, but also a better life. And recently, one of our clients was able to take a lunch break for the first time in many, many years. And now she has a lunch break every single day. Oh my goodness. That to me is fulfilling. That makes me feel like I'm doing something beyond just helping a business owner fix the things in their business. So I'm bridging that gap. And the other thing is we fill each other's cup on the team. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious if you do you have an example you could share about the way that our team members show up for one another that builds loyalty and trust and makes us want to stay there?
It's really unlike anything I've ever experienced before. So many things do come to mind, but the most recent I would say is I've been going through a lot of changes in my personal life, pretty life-altering changes, I would say, over the last 6 to 8 months. And our integrator, Amy, that we talk about so much on the team, she saw how I was showing up and felt like there's something there. And I want to find a way to connect with Kaitlyn to figure out what that thing is, and offer her support. She gave me a lifeline, an olive branch. And she basically said, here's what I'm seeing. And if I'm seeing something that you're not feeling, that's okay too. You can say that. But here's what I'm seeing. And I want to make sure that you're supported outside of Tap the Potential too, within Tap the Potential, but also what do you need outside of Tap the Potential that's going to support you? And I think that sometimes as leaders, we focus so much on results and we focus so much on, the bigger picture, and we're all trying to carry forward this business. But what we do at Tap the Potential is we take a step back, we pause often, and we check in on our team members. And sometimes when we see things, instead of being fearful of just saying it, we're vulnerable and we lead with that, and we lead with love, and we say what's going on. So at Tap the Potential, I have never felt like I couldn't be my full authentic self. And because I have led with that, our team sees that and they pick up on things that sometimes I do not. And when they hold that up, right, that mirror, when they hold that mirror up, even if that's not what Amy was trying to do, that's what she did. And it completely transformed my life and my leadership. And that's just one small experience, but it really makes a difference when you start to peel back those layers and think about the impact that Amy really had on me. She had an impact that was a ripple effect. It was more than just how I show up at work. It was what's going on in your personal life. How can we show up for you there so that, you can come here and be the incredible human that we know that you are. And you can't just find that at any place. Like you can't.
Amy did that for me as well. And her coaching brought me awareness. I used to fake it till I make it. Like that was my motto in life. I am just going to show up. You are not going to know the traumatic things that are going on behind the scenes. And it was just that permission to say, I don't always have to show up. And A players do this. We're at 1,000% all the time. But sometimes we have to give ourselves grace. And this is a great episode to send out to your A players. It's okay to have grace and remember, even when we can't show up at that 1,000%, we're still going to show up as the normal team member. So that right there should hit home to any business owner, the importance of having A players on your team, because even when they're not at their best, even when they have other things going on outside of work, they're still going to show up to be the team member that you need them to be.
And I just want to add on, that's exactly what was happening for me, Melissa. I was showing up at 100%, but Amy was tuning in with me about my personal life. And when she started to hear some of the things shifting, that's when she started to ask the questions. So I was very much soldier on, and I work for this employer of choice. But even in that moment, I still fell back into those old patterns and routines. And because she knew about me outside of Tap the Potential, she was really able to pull some of those things in. And it unlocked a lot. It unlocked a lot for me personally, and also for me as a leader at Tap the Potential, in the way that I wanted to show up for other team members, because we're building our Connect team, as you know now, which is our marketing department. And so I want to lead with that love, and I want to make sure that I am connected with my team members in a way that goes beyond when they come to work.
Yeah, and let's address what's probably going through the minds of business owners listening. So, friend, we know that there's a boundary between getting too involved personally. And we're not saying that you need to know everything that's going on in your team members' lives, but just building that safe space of, hey, I've got you. Building the culture of we've got each other's backs, which is what we do at Tap the Potential. Just simply saying, okay, I have a little something going on right now, or I'm a bit off today. And knowing that a team member is going to step in and have your back, whether it's just a reminder, oh, hey, don't forget, I need this from you. Or don't forget, you have this coming up. Just, or I can take this task off of your plate. It can just be simple as that. We're all coaches at Tap the Potential, so our dynamic is a little bit different. And one thing that we do have that's so incredible is the Dream Manager program. And that's something that team members can come into. It's a great service to provide your team members at a very low investment, where team members can come in and work through these things and build their dream lives. And I think that honoring each other's dreams and visions for our lives speaks so much to keeping your team members around for the long haul. And we each have our development plans, and we each write our vision every year, and we share our wins with each other. Like, we legitimately celebrate each other. And then when things aren't as great, we know, we even have codes for reaching out. So Donna, the amazing Donna Krebs on our team, our client concierge, who I could not do life without, I could just reach out to her and say, it's a coffee and chocolate date, and she's going to know something. It doesn't matter if it's personal or business. We just need to connect, and that's it. And she shows up in service, and it's the same across the team. But keeping your team members around is being there for them, holding their vision for their life and their aspirations, and saying, hey, I trust you and I've got your back. When you are working with those A players, there's more to it. So what speaks volumes to an A player is having autonomy and for them to build their role and to grow in their careers and being able to bring something to the table. So A players aren't going to stay around with you if they're not growing. So if they're coming in every day and they're just doing what they're told and they do not have a path forward and they don't have a voice, they're not going to stay with you. So one thing that I love is I'm able to build out my department based off what I see works, and I get to do more of what works. And this started in small steps. First, I would ask Dr. Sabrina, hey, what do you think about this? Here's what I'm noticing. What if we do that? And for a while, she did it with me. And then it was, I would pitch the idea and then implement the idea and get feedback. Now we're to the point, I joked because she's out for a few weeks right now. And I said, oh, there's going to be something built and it's already going to be in place by the time you come back. And that took time to develop, but it starts with trusting your team members and giving them boundaries to work from. So there's KPIs to follow, for example, here's what success looks like in your role. And then also including them in the vision for your company every year.
And that part is so important. That last piece that you just said is so important. When you're talking about dreaming and when you're talking about visioning, I think that business owners can completely understand when we ask the question of, why did you go into business? Right? What keeps you motivated? What keeps you grounded? Your A players need the same. Your A players need to know their why. They need to connect to that. I was speaking to one of our best team members, which all of them are the best. I was speaking to one of the best team members we had. He said, Kaitlyn, the shift that occurred in me in my entire life, my entire career, is when I came to Tap the Potential and you asked me, what do you want? And I paused. I didn't have an agenda. I just sincerely wanted to know, what do you want? And how can this experience be a stepping stone for you? Because A players, unfortunately, if you look at the stats, they don't stay with us forever. Sometimes we are that stepping stone. We can close that gap. We do see that people are retained when they have these pieces in place that we're talking about today. So that's why we're showing you it's possible. But how can you create an experience that really lights them up and that helps them take on new skills that they are going to be able to put into their tool belt and help for the rest of their journey, whether it's professional or personal? So that question of what do you want and really digging into what your A players want can help you to align your why and your vision, mission, vision, and purpose with theirs. And that, to me, is one of the most critical parts of how to keep your A players engaged. Because if you don't know what it is that they want and you can't find that alignment, it's hard to help them grow and turn into leaders.
Yes. And I am hearing our listeners out loud saying, why invest so much in an A player if they're just going to leave me anyway? And I'm going to give my answer and then I want to invite you to give yours. So it is, you're not alone in thinking that. And it is scary to bring a new team member in. You think this is the perfect role. This is the perfect fit for the role. And I'm going to invest in professional development. I'm going to invest time into training. And then what? They're going to leave me? Are they going to go start their own business? Are they going to go work for someone else? Like, what does that look like? But it is absolutely the right thing to do because that team member is going to leave your business better than where it was when they came in. And you may get some lifers, like we are lifers.
Guilty.
But there may be times where, like you said, statistically, A players do come in and eventually go. But imagine all the opportunities they've created while they're there, how they've helped you grow your business, how they've developed and shaped the role, and maybe multiple roles that they've been in. So do you have any thoughts about that?
I would say, I see it as just as you do. It's an opportunity for an A player to come in. So as business owners, we wear all the hats in the business, right? Especially before we start hiring. So we're doing all of the things. We think we're doing them really exceptionally well. Typically, we find when they come to tap the potential that that's not the case. When you grow and you invite A players into your world, you are inviting different perspectives. You are inviting an infusion of innovation because they're going to get really excited about the work that they're doing and troubleshoot and find ways to do it better. Your A players are meant to come in and they're meant to be profit centers in your business and identify and streamline systems and make things better. So I empower you to think through what it would really be like to take your business to the next level, because that's what A players help you to do. Instead of coming at it with the mindset of, gosh, like what happens if they go? Because what can happen during that time that you have together, it's really limitless if you have the right tools and structures in place to support them and help them to grow. And what I think is really cool is when, and How to Hire the Best, when our clients come in and they say, oh, I found this really awesome A player. Like, I'm sad this A player is leaving, but they identified this other A player that can step right in. Because like we say at Tap the Potential, A players hang together. And so your A players become a referral engine for you to find more clients and find more A players. What's not to love about that?
Yeah, we do. How many people are on the Tap the Potential team because I brought them in?
Yeah, we can go down the list.
I'm a walking testament to that. So this conversation just lights me up so much. Well, first off, I could talk to you for all day, and I do normally, but I think that it's so exciting because I could just keep going about all of the things that we love and all of the things that we love to do. And the cool thing is we bring that energy into our coaching, and our business owners get to benefit from it. And I love that we're doing this coffee chat today, because it's like being this fly on the wall to like Kaitlyn and Melissa's Fridays at Barnes & Noble, right? Because this is literally like the stuff we sit around and talk about. So
and how cool is that? How cool is it that even when we are trying to unplug, we can't stop talking about how much we love the clients that we work with. And that's another piece to all of this, is when you have the right A players, they're just so excited to work with your clients and your customers. And it just, Dr. Sabrina and our team, we are so excited every day to show up for each other and continue the work that we are doing. And Dr. Sabrina isn't alone. She has other people on the team who are just as excited about her baby too, and want to amplify and want to serve. So that's just another thing I would say to any business owner who's struggling around this piece, because we have each other, and that you can't, it's palpable. And it's something that I want every business owner to be able to experience.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. And we protect her baby, and because we're protecting ourselves as well. We love her. We respect her. We admire her, and we don't want anything to happen to her baby. So it was funny today. I've been saying this for a while. She's gone on vacation. I don't even know how many weeks it is. Many. And I really did not know until today when she comes back. And so I do all of the coaching in the groups, except I do the coaching in our highest level group alongside Dr. Sabrina. So once you go through all the foundational elements, then you get Dr. Sabrina too. And I thought, they might want to know when she's coming back. So I told them, like, I don't care when she's coming back, but you might care. So I thought I would share that with you. And if she wanted to take more time off, then that's absolutely fine, because we've got her back, and it's just more time for us to play and do things while she's gone. We miss her. I miss her tremendously. Like, I was in tears when group ended today, because she's just my partner in crime there. But truthfully, I know she would have my back too when I need to take time off. And that's another thing. We really do walk our talk with Work Supports Life. And when things come up, we support each other, and our team members know, hey, we have things to come up and we'll prioritize that. And we've got your back when it happens. So that's a great freedom to have. It means everything to me to be able to say, okay, well, such and such is going on in life and I want to be there. So that's important. That's another element to keep your team members engaged. And a lot of times it's hard as a business owner. You're running your payroll tight. Like I did this for 18 years, trying to run a payroll that was very, very lean. And when you don't have the entire team that you need for team members to take time off when they need it, it will drive people away.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That key team member dependency it's felt. And it's hard, especially when you're like us and you have the same core values and you lead with a servant heart and you want to show up in the service of others. That can be tricky. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes, we hear business owners say this to us.
Yeah.
And it can be hard, and your team members feel it too.
They do feel it. And one of the biggest things that I'm pushing constantly is for a business owner to take time off. I want them to take time off because that's where they're going to they're going to find the solutions to their challenges.
You were just coaching me about this today because I'm taking a fully unplugged week vacation for the first time in about a year and a half next week. And you said, Kaitlyn, okay, it's been too long, and you really had to coach me around that, so even though Dr. Sabrina walks her talk and unplugs, you're on the team saying the same and empowering me to unplug as well. I think you should share some of the tidbits that you shared with me today because they were very powerful.
So I don't remember what they were, but I can say this. If you're the business owner not taking time off, then your team members are going to feel like you're a player. Team members are more likely to not take time off. And then we had a conversation in group today for a business owner who's taken multiple 4-week vacations. And she said, well, I think I'm just going to check my email and then carry a couple of things in the business while I'm out so that it's not chaotic when I come back. And I said, very simply, how can you set your team up for success so that they feel like you trust them while you're gone? And she just paused right there and said, okay, I'm feeling like I shouldn't check in now. And I shared it would be soul crushing to me if Dr. Sabrina reached out to me right now and said, hey, how are our clients doing in group? I feel like she doesn't have confidence in me, and she would never do that. And we discussed, a boundary that could be set if she feels like she wants to give her team the ability to check in. But that's the entire reason why we're going through the program, is to set the business up for success so that it can run without you. And what that builds for your team is trust. It builds trust. Hey, this business is sustainable without the business owner. This business is built to be sustainable and give me that autonomy so that I can keep growing. And when your business is completely dependent on you and you're running around like the Tasmanian devil trying to put out fire after fire, your team's not going to have that trust in you. So as we wrap up,
role model, I just want to add on to that, Melissa, they are going to role model this same behavior that you are. That's kind of how we talk about that culture and being an employer of choice. They're going to emulate the values that it is that you're showing up as. Yeah. So it really does. It starts with you.
Absolutely. And I don't think we're constantly reminding business owners as they're building their culture. So they go through the How to Hire the Best course. They're coming into coaching. At some point when the culture gets built up, we forget that new team members coming in, new A players coming in, most likely are coming from toxic situations. So they're still shaking off what it's like to be in that toxic environment, and they're still kind of feeling like, oh, I'm in the principal's office. So it's a mindset shift.
Yes.
And it takes a while. It took me a long time to understand what the heck this thing was, because I was so used to the complete opposite. So what tips would you have, like your just takeaways for any business owner tuning in today that really wants to just take one step towards a place where team members just want to stay with them for the long haul?
One step that you can take today is to really get clear on what your core values are, what you will tolerate, what you will not tolerate, and how you want to build a business around that. Because when our business owners who come to us really have that identified, that is when they start to truly understand what team they need to surround themselves with that's going to help them take the next level. The second step I would say is let's have a conversation, because hiring, it can be a challenge. Keeping your talent can be a challenge. And your business is so unique. It has unique needs, and so do you, and so does your team, your client, your customers. So absolutely want to have a conversation with you if what we're sharing is resonating and you're thinking, gosh, they're pulling the curtain back on Tap the Potential. And I want this. I want to be that employer of choice.
Yeah, I love that. So mine would be to have a clear, compelling vision statement. Without the values and without the vision statement, your business is going to go into any and every direction. So having that vision statement helps you get clear on where you're going, and your team members to see where you're going and where they fit into it.
Mm-hmm. They want the clarity, and then they want to connect the dots. And when they can find the connection, that's when they start to light up for your business and show up for you tenfold.
Yeah, for sure. So most business owners it's hard for most adults to dream. Let's just call it what it is. It's hard because you're in survival mode. You're in the day-to-day likely. So if you aren't sure how to write a vision statement, you can take a look at the 4-Week Vacation book by Dr. Sabrina. And there's a set of questions. I think it's on page 143. It's so weird that I know that. I could be wrong. But most of the time, business owners have trouble successfully writing that vision for their own. And it's my absolute favorite thing to do. So if you'd like support, I would love to help you. That's a great thing for us to do in one-to-one coaching. In one-to-one coaching, we just go in and really focus on one thing and knock that one thing out. And then we go to the next thing. So we create a lot of fast forward momentum in your business. Or if you just need everything and you're willing to put in the work, and by work, I mean 5 hours a week minimum, then you can join us in the Better Business, Better Life group coaching program. And in there, we go through the Tap the Potential solution one step at a time together. And either way you go, you're definitely going to be able to build the culture that will keep your team members in place. In the Better Business, Better Life program, How to Hire the Best is included. So then you get Kaitlyn and Dr. Sabrina, as well as me, on your side. Regardless of where you are right now, if you're ready to get unstuck, just reach out to Kaitlyn. Go to tapthepotential.com and book a call on her calendar. And she would be happy to help you. By the time this airs, she will be back from her vacation. So
let's have a conversation, because there's lots of different ways to really support it. Tap the Potential. We have, like Melissa shared, one-to-one coaching. We have group coaching, and we also have courses like How to Hire the Best and Coach Approach and Leadership Bootcamp. If this topic or this theme is resonating with you, it's probably because of a couple of different reasons. And what we find is that when I get on the phone with you, you start asking questions and we dig a little bit deeper, and we're really able to unearth some hard truths around what's really happening in your business and how we can rally around to then support you and really identify what's going to fit your situation, because everyone is just so unique.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun, Kaitlyn. I appreciate you coming on the podcast. And it's really cool to bring our family of business owners that tune in and listen to the podcast and on our coffee chats. It's, one of my absolute favorite things to do in life. So if you've heard me talk about my Fridays with my daughter, this is it. Of course, we always do something fun after, but we love our roles so much at Tap the Potential. We always start out with the first 30 minutes or so recapping and talking about work, because we know, because of our excitement and our celebrations, we're inevitably going to talk about work. So this is what we do first. And then we have our mommy-daughter time. So thank you for being a part of this today. And Kaitlyn, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you and everything that you do.
Ditto. And I'm really excited to continue the conversation with our listeners. So reach out, let's chat, let's continue this conversation, because you are not alone. We are here to support you.
Perfectly said. Bye for now, everyone.